95% of people who diet end up putting their weight back on, and yes, that is research proven. So why is it that 95 out of 100 people can't keep the fat that they lose off? Losing 20, 30 pounds, gaining it all back, getting to a place to where you're tired of being fat, and then just repeating that same cycle over and over year after year. Is it really a fitness journey if you walk back to the same start line every single year? This would not be the case for people if they just followed this 3-step process that I'm going to give you in this video to getting lean and staying lean all year round. That way you never need to diet again, and you can finally learn how to keep making results year after year. If this sounds like you and you're fed up with restrictive dieting cycles, feeling like all this time that you invest in your fitness is still not getting you the results that you want in the mirror, and you've reached the point of burnout, this video is for you. The very first step in this is to create a body recomposition, and the way that we do that is by building a strong foundation. When you look at these transformations on the screen, you see 90 days of change between these photos. You'll probably be surprised by how simple the changes we made were to facilitate these transformations. The thing is, when your fitness journey looks like either being all in on dieting to nothing at all when you're not dieting, you've yet to find a way to make progress right in the middle. And this is where you have a ton of opportunity. So the first step to building this foundation and creating this body recomposition is getting consistent with a set amount of calories. Your body is only going to give you consistent signals if you give it something consistently. So if you feel like you're hungry on some days, training feels really good on some days, you're not so hungry on other days, you feel super weak in the gym on some days, digestion's really good on some days, really bad on other days. Some days you need 4 cups of coffee, some day you're good on 1. Sounds like your body doesn't know what the hell to do. It's probably sitting there like, hey, if you want me to get it together and if you want me to behave on a consistent basis, you should probably start feeding me a consistent amount of calories so I can work with you here and communicate to you with what I need. And no, that doesn't mean hitting your protein goal one day and falling 80 grams short of it the next. The truth is, if you can't find a way to be efficient outside of a deficit, you're only going to fold when you're in the deficit, and that's the cycle that we're looking to break, right? The beautiful part of getting consistent outside of a deficit is you also get the opportunity to learn how to eat your favorite foods, go out on the weekend, enjoy yourself, and live your life, all while fitting it into your calorie and protein goal. Learning how to practice a healthy relationship with food before going into the diet is a massive piece of you creating success permanently. The second piece of that is improving your training quality. That means recording your progress in the gym, taking a look back at those sets, seeing where your technique can improve, seeing if you're pushing intensely enough to actually make progress in the gym or not. What does not get measured does not get improved. And that also means if you're not logging your progress in the gym, the amount of sets, the amount of reps, the amount of load that you're using, looking back on the previous week's session, going into your current session to see where you can progressively overload, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to even make progress. And to think that you can make progress simply by focusing on nutrition alone is a flawed idea, because it doesn't matter what gas we're putting in the car if the car's engine is not running. Your body's engine is training. It does not matter how healthy you eat. If you are not driving progress and demanding progress out of your physique in the gym in a way that is efficient and sustainable, you're gonna be left to making no progress at all. Now that you've successfully built the foundation, the next step is rapid fat loss. And yes, I said rapid, because everything that we accomplish in the foundation will naturally facilitate the easiest fat loss you've ever seen, meaning that it'll feel less rigid than it's ever been, and it'll feel less restrictive than it's ever been. Take a look at these transformations to see so for yourself. When you establish the foundation, you can expect your body to respond much quicker than it has in the past. At this point, your metabolism is probably a little bit faster because of what we built in the foundation before going into this diet. I don't imagine that dieting has to feel as hard if you're eating over 2,000 calories and losing fat. And now that your training is more efficient and you're spending less time in the gym, getting more out of your time in the gym, you're going to feel a hell of a lot less fatigued in the diet. You're not going to feel like you're running yourself into the wall all burning through muscle tissue in your diet, which is going to make it feel easier and less stressful on your body than it ever has before, which means you're not relying on 4 cups of coffee just to get through the day, and you're not dreading getting yourself to the gym to complete another training session. The last and most important step to maintaining these results and ending the cycle of losing and gaining the same amount of weight every single year is to build muscle coming out of the diet. This is what will lead you to not only maintaining your progress for life, but progressing for the rest of your life. Every single one of these transformations you see here, they're weighing more on the right-hand side and eating more calories than they ever have consistently in their lives. Here's the core thing that people are missing. For the amount of time that you spend dieting, you have equal the amount to spend on the other side of dieting, rebuilding your metabolism, developing your physique, and building muscle. The truth is, most people have spent significantly more time dieting than purposely looking to build muscle and purposely looking to build their metabolism. People like to think that they're building muscle, but it's more so just gaining a bunch of unnecessary fat and covering it up with hashtag bulking season. From the end of the diet, you want to let training be the decision maker in driving your calories up. This actually does something very impactful for your relationship with food. When you begin to realize that training is the driver of progress, and when you begin to realize that training is the driver of building muscle and building your metabolism, you start looking at nutrition as simply the supplement to that. You no longer get hyper obsessed and hyper fixated over food, and you no longer have to focus on food all day long because your focus is now shifted to how well that you can train and how efficiently that you can train and how well that you can progress in your training. And in order to continue making that progress, in order to continue developing your physique and improving your physique, you have to ensure that you're fueling yourself enough to do so. It gives you an entirely different outlook on food and completely transforms your relationship with it. So let's say that you dieted for 12 to 16 weeks and you spent 12 to 16 weeks working your calories up after the diet. You will get to a point to where your calories are higher than they were before you even started the diet in the first place. But this time, you look leaner than ever. You're stronger than ever. You have more energy than ever. You're more developed than ever. And I don't imagine that life's very hard when you're eating more than you ever have, looking better than you ever have. You can go out to eat without having to be careful with what you select on the menu. You can go on vacation. You can go travel without stressing about how much weight you're gonna gain on that trip. But you come back from those trips actually looking better. This is what puts you in a position to stay lean for life and make progress for life. And that is our 3-step framework to never having to endure long, taxing, and restrictive diets ever again. Not only does that mean more freedom, not only does that mean more flexibility, that means that you get to be confident in yourself and comfortable in your skin all year round. Because we damn well know that that makes a difference in how you show up in your relationships. That makes a difference with how you show up at home. That makes a difference with how you show up in your career. So if it means that you only had to do this right one time to change the rest of your life, then I encourage you to choose this path. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram about this process. And if you want more access to high-level information and support, feel free to join our free Facebook community down below.